Hey everybody, welcome to the Autoweek and eBay Motors Garage. We're going to help you work on common problems with cars, fix simple stuff with the help of Autoweek editors.
And today we're working on a 98 Jeep Wrangler. We're doing a front brake job, a whole front brake job.
It's something that we recommend for the first-time do-it-yourselfer. If you're not quite sure where to start on your brake job, eBay Motors has a new My Garage feature that once you load your vehicle into your garage, you can shop by diagram and actually get blow-ups of the parts you're working on. You can see what they're called and then get a listing of what's available on eBay Motors.
This is actually the first time Andy and I have ever wrenched together, so we're looking forward to seeing how it's going to go. I assume well.
It's not going to go well.
It's, never know.
For the brakes, the first thing we'd have to do is remove a little bit of fluid from the master cylinder. So just disconnect the master cylinder cap. You can use a turkey baster, anything clean. If you have kids, you know exactly what this is. It's for medicine. Just put it in the master cylinder, draw out a small amount of fluid. I'm using a rag here because this stuff's really corrosive, and then put it in a suitable container. I'm going to take 2 squirts out of this master cylinder just to be safe. We're fortunate enough to have a lift to get the car up off the ground here at the garage, but you don't need one if you don't have one at home. As long as you can get the vehicle safely supported on jack stands, you'll be all right. Let's get the tire off and get started on the brakes.
To do a brake job, you just need a basic set of hand tools. A set of combination wrenches, a ratchet and socket set, and a set of line wrenches.
Now, if you're not exactly sure what you're looking at this point, this is a great time to go back and look at your eBay Motors diagram. Now, the main things we're going to be replacing today in this brake job are the rotor, the caliper, and then the pads that are squeezed together inside the caliper.
All right, to get the caliper off, it's as simple as taking these guide pin bolts loose, which are right back here.
Now, if you're just doing pads and rotors, you don't need to take this next step we're going to do. However, we're also replacing the brake caliper, which is the hydraulic part. To do that, we need to make sure that we've at least loosened up where the brake line goes into the caliper at the back while it's still attached. All right, now we're going to slide the caliper off with the brake pads. I'm going to hold on to the rotor, and this particular rotor should come right off, just like that. Okay, now that we have the caliper off on the car, we're going to move back over to the bench to set things up for the reassembly process. Now, what I have here is a remanufactured caliper. These were about $25 on eBay Motors, and it was just much easier and more cost-effective to go ahead and get a remanufactured caliper. What I need to do before I put it on is I've got my new brake pads. We need to load the caliper, which is actually putting the brake pads in the caliper. In this case, the pad with the clamps fits into the piston here, which is the part that actually squeezes the pads together. And then this part with the U-clamps slides over the outside of the caliper and fits like that.
Our new rotor was covered in basically Cosmoline. Cosmoline and friction surfaces don't go together. It's basically an oil. We need to clean that off before we even think about putting this on the car. There's chlorinated and non-chlorinated brake parts cleaner. You can just generally go for the non-chlorinated. So they both work pretty well. And you just spray it down, get the Cosmoline away, and you're good to go.
Let's move back to the car and put this thing back together.
All right, before we put the new caliper and pads on, we're gonna make sure the area where the pads ride is free from any scale and rust.
All right, do you want some of the lube? Oh,
thank you. My assistant, Vanna White, everybody.
Thank you.
This lubricant will lube the area where the pad rides on the bracket. A little dab, just hit it on here.
We've got our cleaned rotor here, and as you can see, it just slides right over the wheel studs on this particular vehicle. All right, let's replace the caliper now. So we've loosened the banjo bolt. I'm gonna have Wesley take that off. Ooh. All right.
And
There we go.
the swap.
All right, one down.
I'm gonna pop these old crush washers off.
Yep, and we're replacing the copper crush washers on either side.
And now we're getting ready to install the new banjo bolt into the new caliper.
This is going to allow the brake fluid to come from the master cylinder and squeeze these pads together when you apply the brakes. So we've got our pad now, or our caliper here loaded, ready to go. You can see it hooks over the bottom and then slides right into place on the top.
And those guide pins we took out, we're installing new ones so the caliper can be fastened to the rest of the car. And I'll do that right now.
You've got to sort of rock the caliper a little bit to get the new pins lined up, because again, these kind of float on top of the caliper plate. All right, now the last step in our particular brake job is to bleed the brakes. If all you're doing is replacing pads and rotors and you did not disconnect this hydraulic line, you can skip this step. Now, bleeding brakes is generally a two-person job. I need 3 people to do this. Yeah, I need Wes and then somebody to actually do the work.
Andy went inside the Jeep to press the brake pedal. He left me down here to crack the bleeder screw. The bleeder screw bleeds any air out of the system if there's air, which there should be considering we just put a new caliper on. I'll be screaming for him to press the brake pedal down and to hold it while I release this bleeder valve. When I'm done, when I close the bleeder screw, I'll tell Andy to release and he'll start building pressure again. And we'll keep doing that until we don't see any more bubbles. Pump.
Pedals down.
Press.
Pedals down.
That felt pretty good.
All right, last step is to put the tire and the wheel back on. So.
Oh, pretty straightforward. Thank you, Andy.
Yep, my pleasure.
He's all the muscles. I am the not muscles. Don't drop the lug nuts.
The final step is actually to take the car out and bed the brakes in. You want to find a place where you can accelerate up to about 35 miles an hour repeatedly, hard stop, cool the brakes off, come back, do it again, 10, 15 times.
It's like cracking pepper.
Another trick is wait till the car is on the ground completely before you do your final tightening, because it's much easier to have the weight of the vehicle holding the tire rather than me trying to hang on to it. That's it for this episode of Autoweek and eBay Motors Garage. Stay tuned, we're going to be bringing you more episodes of easy DIY projects that you can do yourself.
And hopefully you learned that doing your own brake job is not nearly as intimidating as you might have thought. And you probably just saved like $600, so you can spend that how you want.
Spend it on Autoweek subscriptions.
Subscribe to Autoweek, the magazine.